Story mean to me? There's a lot of things that Toy Story actually means to me, and a lot of it comes down to the nostalgic vibe. This was the second one, was the first one I ever saw in theaters, and ever since then it's kind of been my big through line to loving cinema and to loving film. Who knows, without Toy Story I might not be reviewing films to date. I mean, there's just been so much. That's why this Toy Story series that I've been doing on this channel has been so important to me. I've shown you guys my collection. I've done a review of every single Toy Story film, 1 through 4, and now that 4 is out, I'm sharing this video with you guys because I collaborate with so many other YouTubers talking about what Toy Story meant to them, because I do think Toy Story has meant something to everyone. It was a big staple when it came out because it was one of the first computer-generated animated films, and it was such a big milestone at that point in time that no one thought it was a possible thing to happen. Toy Story has kind of been a really big and emotional series to me because every time a film comes out in this series, it's kind of hit me in a time of my life that I've truly needed it, or when I've gone back to revisit them during certain staples of my life that I've kind of needed those messages that the film was portraying. It really kind of worked out for me in the most. I mean, when the first and second one was coming out, the first one kind of came into when someone new joins the family and you kind of feel like maybe you'll get forgotten. At that point in time, my sister was coming to be alive, and it's kind of weird feeling that because as I revisit that film, I look back on it, and then as you join in the second one and kind of figuring out what your purpose is in this world and also kind of opening up to those same thoughts of being forgotten again, there was a point in my time in life where I needed that. The third one, most of all, is kind of the most emotional since I was graduating high school. Even though Andy was going off to college, it was kind of the same way of me going off to college and kind of having, do I need to grow up or should I still be that child at heart? Even within the fourth one, where there's a point in time in here where I'm not going to go into spoilers on it, but the really main purpose is finding your purpose after certain events have occurred. And that's kind of where I'm at kind of in my life now, is what is my purpose to be? What am I to do? And where is the time to move on off certain topics? It's something that Toy Story has meant to me, and it's such an important milestone in my life, and that goes to any animator, any art director, any cast member that's ever been involved with Toy Story, anyone who's ever had a hand in creating this franchise. This is the video. This is meant for you. This is a big thank you to you. This is what Toy Story meant to me, and also what it means to everyone else. I've collaborated again with a bunch of other people, and I'm so excited to show you guys this video. So without further ado, guys, that is what Toy Story meant to me. This is what Toy Story means to other people, and you guys enjoy.
The first time I saw Toy Story, I was about 5 years old. It had just come out on VHS, and even though I did not understand it at the time, everything I saw on screen pretty much changed my life. Toy Story and Pixar in general is pretty much the reason that I am in the career path I am in today. From that day forward, I knew, even subconsciously, that I wanted to do something artistic, and eventually it drew me into wanting to do something with film. So I cannot thank Toy Story enough for pretty much giving me the life that I have today.
Hey, Sean Chandler here from Sean Chandler Talks About, and for me, the original Toy Story came out when I was in, I believe, the 8th grade, and so I was kind of just ending that phase of my life where I kind of watched animated movies and was getting a lot more into rated R, very violent action films, and then this movie comes out that's the first fully CGI animated film. So that just in and of itself, that was the novelty. You're like, what is it? How's this gonna work? What am I even watching? And it's kind of a game changer. That's like my original thoughts, like, wow, this is a whole new thing. This is the way these are going to be in the future. And as the last 24 years have shown, that's the case. Jump forward those 24 years, and now I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 8-month-old. And so these are movies I'm getting to show to my kids. They're the ones I actually have to watch all the time with my kids. Pixar movies are on the screen in my house all of the time. And they're the movies I get to take my kids to and have fun with them. There's movies I take them to like kind of dreading it. And then there's the ones that I get to enjoy along with them because they're actually great movies. And it all started with Toy Story and that Pixar template of making truly great family entertainment. Movies for the whole family that the 5-year-old can have fun with and the parents can enjoy as well. And so that's what they've kind of been for me and what they are now as I've grown from teenage kid to adult person with my own kids. And Pixar has been that journey with me.
You, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command. You are a toy!
Guys, we're Critical Flick, and I just want to say thank you for Zach for having us on here to talk about how we love Toy Story and Disney before the new movie coming out.
Yes, Toy Story is one of those like really great Disney movies that came out 3D animation, and it was like a full length, and it just kind of broke all bounds.
Yeah, I mean, it launched the Pixar empire. It gave us some of the greatest animation movies we've ever had. Really skyrocketed 3D animation, in my opinion. It was one of the first movies I ever saw in theaters, so it's got a special place for me.
It's got a special place for me too. It's one of those movies that actually collected all the toys. I remember having my Woody and Buzz and writing my name on it. The significance of the toys and how much they help you like grow up through life.
It's one of the greatest trilogies of all time. I'm really hoping they nail it with the fourth movie. We had such a great ending to the third film.
Yeah.
All three films have their own merits. I'm really hoping they pull this off.
Toy Story to me means friendship, it means unconditional love. This is one story that I've grown up with. These are characters that we love, characters that we relate to. As Andy was growing up, I was growing up as well, so I feel like these are more than just toys. They are part of my life, and I really enjoy watching them go on new adventures because they always find new ways to surprise us. A magnificent story about love, friendship, about life, and one that I will always keep dear to my heart.
What Toy Story means to me is probably just nostalgia, just bringing back the good memories from my childhood, because I remember waking up on Saturday mornings, throwing that VHS tape in, pouring a bowl of cereal, and then just munching away while enjoying the story of Woody and Buzz. And we watched that VHS so much that I remember one or two of us would always have to go up there and click that tracking button. We just wore that movie out, and I cannot believe that Toy Story is still going on 24 years later. Like, this is a wild franchise. Cannot wait for the fourth one.
What Toy Story means to me. Toy Story is my childhood. It is what made me fall in love with films, and it is a big reason why I am still going to the theaters every year and watching great films, and I will always be so thankful for the Toy Story franchise. It's really a big part of who I am today.
Well, hello there, Zachary. So, I guess if I had to describe what Toy Story means to me, it would be that Toy Story is simply not just one of my favorite franchises of all time, it's just kind of one of my favorite things ever in life. You know, it's something that's been with me literally my entire life. I have such nostalgia of watching the movies on VHS, you know, the first two. It just kind of seemed like whenever I'd go to a family member's house, like back when I was a kid, Toy Story 2 would be playing on a TV somewhere. And it's just a series and a collection of characters that I've grown up with and just have fallen so far in love with. You know, Buzz Lightyear is by far my favorite character of the bunch. I just love his design, his character, and especially his ride at Disneyland. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Toy Story, I love it more than life itself sometimes.
Buddy, so it's so much fun to get to be on Zach's channel and talk about one of my favorite franchises and some of my favorite movies, honestly. Talk about Toy Story movies. They are just wonderful. You know, I absolutely love animation, but I love pretty much everything about the Toy Story movies. I mean, I'm very, very just nitpicking, splitting hairs to decide which one I like the best. But I love the first. I love the first Toy Story, probably most of all because I love the story of friendship, and I just think the script is so brilliant in it. And I particularly just love seeing Woody just become more and more and more jealous and having to deal with that envy. And I think that's something that almost anybody can relate to. Somebody comes into your space, they challenge your leadership, and you start to feel kind of jealous. You start to feel envious, and that's a human response. That's I don't know, I could feel like even down to school, to our school days, most of us have had that experience, and it's hard, and the growth that he experiences through the course of the movie, I think, is what makes him such a likable character, because he's flawed, and and I think that the voice casting was so brilliant, and I love, you know, Tom Hanks as Woody is just the best, and his chemistry with Tim Allen as Buzz is just unmatched.
What's going on, guys? I'm Ryan O'Toole, and Toy Story is my childhood. Toy Story, I grew up with it. I love the characters, and it's just a great story from Pixar. The first Toy Story is my favorite Pixar film of all time. Toy Story 2 is a really good sequel that dives into great things about the original. And Toy Story 3 is the absolutely perfect ending to this trilogy, and it just made me the person I am today. And it's a classic trilogy that I just love watching. Toy Story 4, we'll see how it is, but Toy Story, the trilogy, is classic to me.
Hey everybody, this is Alyssa from Mainly Movies. Toy Story is a very special franchise for me. I grew up with Andy. His childhood was my childhood, and the connection he had with his toys was the connection I had with them. I saw Toy Story in theaters when I was 5 years old, so I was only a few years younger than Andy at the time. When Toy Story 2 came out, I was 9 and now practically the same age as him. And Toy Story 3 saw Andy going off to college, something I had just done only 2 years before. Even though I was now older than Andy, his story still resonated with me, and I still saw the parallels between my life and his. It might seem silly to feel such a connection with a fictional kid and some animated toys, but that's what's so amazing about Pixar and the Toy Story franchise in particular. Andy isn't fictional. Not really. He's us.
Toy Story as a franchise, for me in particular, or at least, has always been very personal to me. I grew up with these movies, whether, like, the first 2 movies came out before I was even born, and I don't have any recollection with the 3rd movie either, going to see it in theaters when I was a little bit older, maybe 9 years old or so when it came out. But the thing is, I had Buzz Lightyear curtains, I had a Woody quilt cover, I had Toy Story pillows, I had all the Toy Story toys, whether it was Slinky, Buzz Lightyear, Woody, you name it. I had all of them. I used to imagine my toys could come to life just like they did in the movie. What Toy Story didn't just influence me, but it also influenced adults and kids alike in the way of their imagination and the magic that these movies brought us to life, while giving us characters that was so influential and kind-hearted in the way of representing friendship and family. The movie also gave kids and just people at a young age just that influence and really gave them a good imagination, for the reason that I used to walk into my room and wonder, did my toys move, or are they in the exact same place? Could they move by themselves? Could they come to life? Were they friends of their own? Were they just there for my own comfort and well-being? That's the thing. Toy Story didn't just do that for me, but it did it for families, kids, adults, you name it. It influenced us all, I think, in the best way, and not just myself.
When a kid, that song, that whole scene would make me tear up. I remember asking for a Jessie doll for Christmas, and I was like, girl, I will be there for you. I will not abandon you like your last owner. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite Toy Story memories or moments. I think just all of these characters coming back together again is going to be really fun to see.
Toy Story, I mean, I know everyone always says how it revolutionized animation and all, but it truly is a gem. Like, growing up, that was one of my favorite animated series, like, for films, and they miraculously got better and better, and I liked how they were released. They were at a time where people could, like, grow up with it and then eventually show it to their kids. It's just, it had so much iconic and such great characters for kids and grown-ups to grow up and, you know, watch. So yeah, Toy Story had a great impact on animation and, like, the industry as a whole.
The first Toy Story movie is one of the first animated movies I can actually remember watching as a kid and just being completely in love with, and it just felt like such a fascinating escape as a kid to be able to have this secret glimpse into this world of what toys do when we're not paying attention, to feel like they have complete lives and stories of their own was something that was just such an exciting concept to a little kid. It was beyond anything that I had seen in any of the other animated movies I loved. All of the Toy Story movies have such a special place in my heart, and I feel like so many people my age feel that same way about these movies, where they're just classics for us, and we just have such a big emotional connection to them as we've grown up with them. I feel like I'll always adore these movies, and that they'll always just be really special to me and bring such fond memories back every time I watch them.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and thank you to all the people who collaborated. Make sure to go hit that like and subscribe button for all of them down below in the comments, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button up for this channel. And also check out Sandwich on Films and how you guys can see films early. I do tons of early movie reviews over there and on this channel, and I don't want you guys to miss out on any of that. I truly love Toy Story. It is everything that I've wanted to do. This is my love letter to the whole entire franchise, and thank you guys to all of you guys who joined me. And make sure guys to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts on Toy Story franchise. Do you guys love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a little overrated? I don't. I think this is literally the best franchise ever created. A lot of that's nostalgic, a lot of that's just personal favoritism to it, but this is truly the franchise that has defined me in every sense of the way, and is the one franchise that anytime I'm feeling down, I can pop the movie in, I can have a good cry, I can have a good laugh, and I can totally have my heart warmed up. Guys, until next time, make sure to remember that you guys definitely have a friend in me.